Welcome to the Spectrum of Health podcast. My name's Javen. I'm an online health and fitness coach, a wannabe footballer who always seems to be injured, and I guess now I'm a podcaster. I've had a lot of people say to me over the past few months, like, Jav, you should do a podcast, it'll be really good. I always wanted to do a blog. Then I read a blog that said podcasting is the new blogging. So I was always thinking about the reasons not to do a podcast instead of thinking about the reasons to do a podcast. So now I've decided to do a podcast. What's it going to be about? That's the question that people always seem to ask. If you're going to make a podcast, what is it going to be about? So I always thought to myself, I don't want to do one of these podcasts that just talk about all the current topics. I think that's boring. I don't listen to that myself. So I thought to myself, I want to talk about three main things. The first thing, this podcast is going to be talking about self-confidence, ways to develop self-confidence. Does confidence truly come and go? How has confidence changed throughout your lifetime? All the guests I'm going to have on, I'm going to talk to them about their confidence and how they've overcome certain confidence crisis. The next thing is going to be personal development. Now, that is a broad term that could cover so many different things. But I really want to get into the mindset of people and how they've developed themselves, what they read, what they listen to, what they watch, and all those type of things. It's going to be quite a broad element of this podcast, but I'm always going to be trying to break down how you can develop yourself and how I'm developing myself currently, because I believe that self-development is a constant journey. The last thing that I'm going to really touch on is mindset. And that is just developing a strong, bulletproof mindset. I think that nowadays it feels like it's harder and harder for people to overcome certain things. I feel like certain setbacks can send people off track so far, and it's quite discouraging in a way. So I really want to talk about ways that I've sort of overcome some really difficult periods in my life, and I know some people that have been through some difficult things. So I've got some really exciting guests coming on, and all of those things are going to be sprinkled with a little bit of fitness, because that is what I do. I'm a health and fitness coach, so we'll be talking about a lot of fitness in this podcast. So if you are someone who you really want to try and improve your health and fitness, you want to become more consistent, you want to recognize the importance of being consistent and persevering through difficult times, this is a good podcast for you. I'm going to have some exciting guests. I've got some amazing guests lined up with just really deep stories to share. I don't really care if this podcast gets 100,000 views or 2 views. It's not really about getting clout or getting lots of views. I'm more focused on trying to share people's stories and people's stories that I like, because I'm not going to lie, this is a little bit more of a selfish project. This is just because I want something to listen to, because I don't really like other people's podcasts. I just thought I want to do my own. So I think that it's going to be really, really exciting, and I'm excited about just getting it out there. So in terms of the format, you're going to get a few like this, because this is episode 0. This is the pilot episode. This is just to give you an intro of what's to come. But you will get a few solo episodes like this from me. I've got so many lined up, some interesting topics, but I'm going to try and get as many guests on as I can. So it's going to be a weekly format. Every Sunday night, I'm going to be dropping an episode for you to enjoy for the whole week, and I'm going to keep them coming as consistent as possible. It's not going to be perfect to start, because nothing ever is. Just like when I get a new client on board, I always tell them the start is probably the hardest period. And that is how I envision this to be. The podcast isn't going to look as good at the start. It's not going to sound as good at the start. But I promise you, the more consistent and the more episodes I give you, the better it's going to become. So that is pretty much how I see it and how I view it and how I'm certain it's going to go. So this is it. I'm not even going to get talking too much. Episode 0, the pilot, is out. Everyone knows what to expect. I'm not even going to give you an episode now. This is it. I'm excited. Episode 1 is coming in 7 days. You are going to like this one. I've got a really important and interesting guest coming. So if you want to get an update, get notified straight away, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. This will be coming out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, all that good stuff. It's going to be everywhere. So please subscribe so you can get updates straight away when episode 1 drops next week. All right. Thank you for joining me. This is Jav. This is episode 0 of the Spectrum of Health podcast. Peace.